Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the PAX Means Peace session. It's a little introduction to PAX because we just have a half an hour together. Classroom teachers are trained in PAX strategies, and that training is an all-day training. So it's pretty significant training to use these evidence-based and trauma-informed strategies. However, the same type strategies that are so helpful in the classroom are also helpful in communities, at home, in any gathering with youth, whether it be before or after care, preschools. It could be a coach that uses it, or a Sunday school teacher, or a scout leader. Anybody who works with groups of children can benefit from the PAX strategies. And so PAX means peace in Latin. And the purpose of each strategy is to bring more peace and productivity, health, and happiness into the either the classroom, if you're a classroom teacher, or if you're in a community, to bring it to whoever you work with, whether it be at home or wherever. And when people learn it for the community, it has a different name. It's called PAX Tools, as opposed to PAX Good Behavior Game. The good behavior game is played in a classroom, and that's not used in the community. But the tools are similar, and so let me show you something that I think will make this a little clearer. And we'll do a little overview of what some of these PAX tools are. First off, just to let you know, the strategies are prevention strategies. And that's why Envision Partnerships is interested in this, because we are a nonprofit that does prevention right in our own community here of Hamilton and Butler County. So everywhere you see a little arrow, those are all prevention strategies. And I will show you a slide in just a bit that shows a little bit about the outcome when the strategies are used. Oh, and Heather has arrived. Yes. Welcome, Heather. We just got started. You haven't missed too much. So the PAX Good Behavior Game is for schools, and there's a certain language that is taught for teachers, and they have a few more, what they actually call these kernels in the classrooms, and there's a few more of them that are used. In PAX Tools, which is more what we're considering, since this is a community event, they used these kinds of names for it. And then there is also, in addition to the prevention strategies, these two strategies at the end that are more intervention. So just a quick overview. Actually, before I give a quick overview, let me show you how these evidence-based tools can make a real difference. So why use them? Basically, for every 100 first graders, this is a study that was done, when they get the kernels in school through the PAX Good Behavior Game, even just 1 year, you can expect to find the following results when the kids reach age 21. So it's a long-reaching type of effect. You can read, I don't have to read through all of this, but just wanted to point out a few things, since we're seeing so much with mental health and suicide in our youth population. That is an amazing difference, isn't it? Just by having the PAX tools for a year. And you might think, well, how are the two related? How could something that happens by the age of 21 have anything to do with first grade? But these tools essentially train the brain, and it helps children to not make impulsive decisions. So that is a part of it, and they've had a lot of positive reinforcement in the classroom, which also gives them perhaps the confidence and boosts their own self-image to thrive and not just survive in their society. So graduate from high school and attend college and things like that. So back to these PAX tools. The PAX vision is we call shared vision in the community, and it's essentially making a very specific it's a way to get on the same page with the youth, giving the youth voice for what expectations are for behavior, because PAX tools essentially teaches behavior. And so you might take something very focused, where there may be behavior problems at home, maybe it's at the dinner table, and then have a shared vision, and you listen to your children and you have a discussion based on that. And you can record it and then work with it. So in a PAX Tools workshop, you hear much more about the specifics on how you would do this, but we're just going to do an overview today. PAX Focus is the same as PAX Quiet. It's not used in a home setting, but it's helpful with groups of students. It involves a harmonica, which is one of only two sounds that have been shown to cause no trauma. It's a nice, soft, pleasant sound, and that way you can draw attention to a group of students if like you need to transition or directions need to be given, and it's not a lot of yelling or clapping or flicking off the lights or any of those things, which you can imagine might be traumatic for some students. The harmonica sound. Go ahead, play. Huh. I've got my harmonica on my PAX Tools app and it's not doing anything. Maybe I have my sound turned down. Oh, that's it. Okay. Nope. I give up. Okay. So anyway, you all know what a harmonica sounds like anyway. So, but that has done great things in classrooms. There's a teacher in Lakota who was using it at a Halloween party for her students, first graders. Imagine 50 first graders at a Halloween party in an enlarged room setting. So 2 combined classes, and some parents were there, and you know all the excitement around Halloween. She blew on a harmonica, and every single child stopped what they were doing, looked at the teacher, put their hands over their mouth, and put the peace sign up in the air. And all the parents' jaws just dropped. So it is a really amazing like feature of these, or not feature, I guess it's a tool, one of the tools in a group setting. So with preschool or after school care, before school care, and other group, youth group, things like that. All right, then wacky prizes are used in the classroom, whereas mystery motivators are the PAX tools. It's the same thing, just different language. Mystery motivators appeals to more ages. Like you could use that for would be a great one to use with an adult. Like, what would be motivating for you to get your whatever you've been putting off done? Or you're in the middle of doing something that's really long and you just need a brain break. They're kind of like brain breaks. So they work really well in the classroom. They'd work great at home as well. So mystery motivators, some examples might be for children. In a classroom, well, I'll stop talking about a classroom because we're talking about community. But if, say they are in a youth group setting and there's being maybe a lot of talk, and they just need a break. Maybe everybody gets a chance to lie down on the floor and like fry like bacon, and then they sit back up, let a little energy out. Or if you need something to calm down the energy, there are definitely PAX mystery motivators that help with that as well. So it can be just really simple ones like tapping pencils on a desk. It could be taking a little like a mini nap. Like you get to hide under your desk and sleep for 30 seconds. These are usually just 30 or 60 seconds. So, so that is a mystery motivator, and I think it could be used at all ages. Teens might like cell phone related ones, like emoji charades, or had another one, just left my mind. Okay, let's move on. So beat the timer is another strategy that is used both in the classroom and is a PAX Tools strategy. And as the name implies, something is happening where you're trying to beat the timer. So it uses the theory of reduced allocated time to get the job done. And really, I haven't mentioned much about the science behind all of these, because that is something you learn in a PAX Tools training. And might have forgotten to mention when we first started, there is one coming up on June 10th. I got that right, correct? 2:30? Christina, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you.
2:30 to 4:30, correct?
Yes.
All right, and Wednesday is June 10th. Okay.
Yes.
So there will be a full PAX Tools training. This is not meant to be a training. This is just to give you the idea of what these things are and what they're used for. Random sticks is a way to create fairness amongst children. They can be used in a group setting to call on people, like to answer questions and that type of thing. And in a home setting, just to make sure that everybody feels like mom and dad choose fair, like who gets to sit in the front seat, right? And for teenagers, or maybe it's game night for the whole family and one sibling always thinks that they get to choose. That's a good way of making things fair by just using these popsicle sticks and drawing them out of, a cup or something, and then it's not you choosing, it's the sticks choosing. Kudos notes in the schools are called toodles, the opposites of tattles. And they are just simply really nice statements that we can give to the people that we want to show that we noticed that they're doing something right. And they need to be specific. And in that way, those written confirmations really helps them repeat that behavior. So again, it's about molding the brain. As the brain is growing in a child and it's changing, you really want all of these strategies to help them train their brains, essentially. A low emotional response is a strategy that can be used before a misbehavior starts escalating. So it is especially important in settings where it could be embarrassing to call a child out. So it's a nonverbal cue that you create with a child. Like, I guess for parents, they could let their children even pick the cues of when they're doing a good job or when they need to correct their behavior. And as children learn to self-correct, that's when they learn the self-regulation. In fact, all of these things help with learning self-regulation. And then when things don't go right, as they often do, and a child misbehaves and there may be a consequence. In the schools, they have their own way of dealing with this, and so PAX doesn't get involved in that because each school has their own way of doing that. But in either a community setting or a home setting, you can use these two strategies to help resolve the peace that has been broken. Okay, when there's misbehavior, our home is not as peaceful, right? And so PAX breaks is a way of calming a child down. It's teaching them essentially that skill, which is so very important for all of us here. I think again of Christina's question in the beginning about will any of these apply to adults? And yes, all of these could probably apply to adults, but I see this one especially being important, is to think ahead of time of what are the things that really help calm you? What are your coping skills? And so when something in the home or in a situation gets escalated and emotion starts rising, everybody can call a timeout type break. And nobody's struggling for a way to think about what's can I do to calm down. Everybody's different. You know, one of your children might like petting the dog, another one might like drawing, another one might like going out for a run, and you might just want a time to yourself and have a cup of coffee. So it's a great way to just take that mental break so that you can all come back together, and PAX Amends is a way then to make good on the peace that was broken. And again, these are ideas that are thought out ahead of time, written down, kind of picked out like the way mystery motivators are picked out of a hat type of a deal. And they're just a way that for the family, you do something for the family so that it you make things right again. So if something was done against one sibling, maybe the child that was misbehaving needs to do their brother or sister's chores that day. That's just a short example. So in summary of all of this, of these tools, you will learn more about the science behind them, but especially about how they are used. I was just really flying through to give you an overview. A PAX Tools workshop also offers materials, so you get a little workbook, and you get some of the you get a little shared vision board and some notes that you need to start making your motivators and your amends and things like that. And if you work in group settings, we also have a harmonica available that we can mail to you free of cost, and that's for people who attend a full PAX Tools training. Let's see. I think I want to go back to, okay, so we'll end on this slide today. So I hope that just with a little taste of this, you can see that using these strategies could bring more peace in the home. And I think what's really important to understand is that more peace in the home means more peace in our communities, more peace in our world. Children in the classrooms that use PAX are told that they try to be PAX leaders. And a PAX leader is there to make their world a better place. And I think that is essentially very important at any time, but we see now in our troubled times and all the challenges that we're facing in our world today, that as parents, we can train our children to self-regulate, to cooperate. We can have more peace in our homes, which is helpful during a lot of this stay-at-home type stuff, but also so that as they grow, they're self-regulated and can be a cooperative part of society. So that's the idea behind PAX Tools. This is my contact information. You can reach out to me at any time. I am a PAX Tools community educator. There are others in Butler County as well, including, I think, 2 that are on here. So Christina Latta is the one that will be providing a PAX Tools training, the 2-hour training on Wednesday. And so we hope that you'll give that a try if you've never done this before, and let others know about it happening. And they can register. It's a free training, and it's part of the Healthy Hamilton Week. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right, well, I want to end this session with any questions that you might have. Jennifer.
So for the framework for the teachers, does this cover all of elementary school? And the reason I'm asking is because is there a continuum of service from the teachers in different grades? So they share a common language.
Yeah, that's a really good question. When it's done in a school setting, they use that language that I was showing you that was, I think, on the left-hand side of that slide. So it's not that PAX requires it. It's just that's what they call it. And so for young children, it works really, really well. And so then they're very much into, you adapt the language for any age. Like say a middle, this totally could work with middle school, right? But you can't call it toodles because they'd be like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, right? So it could be the kudos notes, and you can use borrow some of that PAX Tools language to make it more appealing to an adolescent. So, but it has worked at the elementary through 6th grade at Highland in Hamilton. They've used it. Yeah, but those teachers had a different kind of training. Those teachers had that all-day training, not PAX Tools training that we're offering on Wednesday. Yeah.
I would imagine this is added for students' IEP plans.
I don't know. Well, it's a way a classroom teacher goes about handling behavior in the classroom and helping the child learn, all the children, how to learn behavior. So that's a really good point. I haven't had a lot of discussion with, I'm a PAX partner for the schools, as is Christina. And so far, nobody has shared with me how a child with an IEP may have a special, like, concentrate on certain PAX strategies. But I've got to talk to them because they'd be missing out. Like, instructional aides are taught this oftentimes, and they could use like the okay, not okay in the classroom, which is the low emotional response. Like, yes, you're okay on the carpet, you're sitting the way up. No way, you're starting to wiggle. And just the minute little things that they can get that feedback to self-regulate, so they can grow one step at a time. Yeah.
And thank you, Kristen. One last question, if I may.
Sure.
Are these tools then shared with parents?
Yes, this whole PAX Tools, the PAX Tools is meant for parents. Like, the parents, we would like for them to attend workshops because this is meant for home. In the schools, parents are made aware that PAX strategies are used. They may or may not know what the language is. It depends from school to school how much that is communicated through newsletters or whatever. But I've heard one school where I don't think it was really communicated formally at home, but the child wrote, I think, a toodle for their parent because they knew what it was like to get toodles and to write toodles and things like that. So really, really sweet, really sweet. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Outstanding presentation, very good delivery. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for attending. And Heather, did you have anything that you wanted to add, or anything you're probably curious about what the heck this was going to be?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what it was going to be. I didn't know it was just going to be kind of a review. I was kind of tuning in to, just because I teach PAX Tools, so I was like, I'm curious to see how other people teach it. I mean, I'm always like wanting to partner with people, so I was like, well, maybe I'll tune in and see like if I can learn something so that when I teach, I can use some of your strategies. And
yes, I'm so glad that you're here.
I didn't really have any particular questions. It sounds like we're on the same page. Like when you were going through them, it's kind of what how I describe it as well. But
yeah, Jennifer, you're surrounded by 3 Butler County PAX Tool community educators. I think we might be the only ones, but you're surrounded by them. And
Amy Masechko.
That's
she
right.
was in my
class.
class.
Forget about Amy. And who
she
else?
was in my class.
Oh, Amy was in your class, yeah. And so this is being recorded, and it'll be offered through the Envision Partnerships newsletters that are going out. So we may have some people that decide to watch it, and so now they will see that Heather at OSU Extension Office right here in Hamilton is another option, as well as Christina, which is, we both work for Envision Partnerships, and then folks out in Talawanda, in the Oxford area, could reach out to Amy. So there are 4 educators, and we can get our communities in a better state of peace by learning these tools and teaching children and youth and a whole new generation and adults, and even adults, what it means to self-regulate behavior. So, yay! Well, thanks for tuning in.